He is one of the nicest people I think I've ever met in my life. One of the greatest patriots I've ever met. I've had the honor of spending a lot of time with him. He spent time with my family. We've actually gone out on little excursions together to aquariums, believe it or not. It's my friend Jon Voight, the incredible actor, is with us, and he wrote a really scathing and heartfelt and truthful letter to President Obama, a public letter. Jon, welcome back, my friend. Glad to have you back on the program.
Sean, it's great to hear your voice. It's great to be with you as always.
Well, first of all, I've always admired the fact that you are so outspoken. You care so much about the future of this country, the direction of this country. You wrote a letter to the president back in, 2008? I think is the time you wrote that first letter. My concerns, well, it wasn't to the president, it was my concerns for America.
Right.
And
op-ed, yeah.
An op-ed that you wrote, and now you wrote an open letter to President Obama. Tell us about this.
Well, if you permit me, Sean, I'd like to read it. Can I read it?
Yes, you can.
Okay. This just came out in the Washington Times this morning, so... and here's the way it goes. President Obama, you will be the first American president who lied to the Jewish people, and the American people as well, when you said that you would defend Israel, the only democratic state in the Middle East, against all their enemies. You have done just the opposite. You have propagandized Israel into looking like they are everyone's enemies, and it has resonated throughout the world. You are putting Israel in harm's way, and you have promoted anti-Semitism throughout the world. You have brought this to a people who have given this world the Ten Commandments and most laws we live by today. The Jewish people have given our world the greatest scientists and philosophers and cures for many diseases. And now you play a very dangerous game so you can look like a true martyr to what you see and say are the underdogs. But the underdogs you defend are murderers and criminals who want Israel eradicated. You have brought it to Arizona, a civil war, once again defending the criminals and illegals, creating a meltdown for good, loyal, law-abiding citizens. Your destruction of this country we may never recover from. I pray to God you stop, and I hope the people of this great country realize your agenda is not for the betterment of mankind, but for the betterment of your politics. With heartfelt and deep concern for America and Israel, Jon Voight.
That is a very powerful letter. Tell us why you wanted to write this.
Well, you know, Sean, it becomes very clear that our president's agenda is not to protect Israel or America. I can say with conviction his agenda is to bring America into becoming a weak socialist country. And of course he has come out against Arizona in hopes to bring amnesty to the illegal aliens for votes in the next election. All of these things that we're seeing require answers. And so I felt, this burning need to express myself to it. There's something else that I would like to broach with you today. I just came across something which really amazed me. It's quite extraordinary news, and no one's covering it. There was a statement made by Egyptian Foreign Minister Ahmed Abu Gayet, I think it's called, it's pronounced, and it was made on Nile TV about January on a program called The Round Table, right? Abu Gayet said he had a one-on-one meeting with President Obama, where the president told him that he was still a Muslim, son of a Muslim father, the stepson of a Muslim stepfather, and his half-brothers in Kenya are Muslims.
Who is this guy?
This fellow is the Egyptian foreign minister. And it goes on to say, Gage claimed Obama told the Arabs to show patience. Obama promised that once he overcame some domestic issues like the health care reform, I assume, he would show the Muslim world how to deal with Israel. Now this is, devastating news. And no one seems to be covering. But if this is true, and apparently they have a video of this announcement, that could explain, of course, why so many things have happened during the last year and a half, and explain why Obama has instructed that the term Islamic extremism no longer is used officially in government documents and statements. I mean, many, many things. And when you look back, you know, to the very first moments of his presidency, the first move he made was to make a call to the Muslim world from the Oval Office, sending his love. So, I mean, it was very disturbing to me that no one's spoken about this.
I have not heard this. Is this the current foreign minister of Egypt? This is the... look, I made a statement the other day. It's very hard because when people say that they are of a particular faith, I mean, I always think to myself, well, you know, who am I to question that? You know, he sat...
Absolutely.
While and you were as critical as I was about Jeremiah Wright and his church. But, I really don't know about that, but I said something on the air, John.
Mm-hmm.
I said what we saw historically, the rise of anti-Semitism in the 1930s, and leading up to a Holocaust, and the destruction of our fellow human beings, the mass murder and massacre. I see when you listen to fundamentalist extremists, and they talk about annihilating Israel and wiping it off the map.
Right.
And it's said often, and it is said by people in pursuit of nuclear weapons. It is one of the most frightening things, literally, because they are saying publicly, they want a Holocaust in this world we live in. So what do you mean when you say that you think the president promoted anti-Semitism throughout the world? That's a very strong charge.
Well, it's easy to promote anti-Semitism, isn't it? One strike of a match and the fire is lit. There are many things. First of all, his stance on the flotilla, where he sided with the UN Human Rights Council against Israel, when we know the evidence is very clear that this was a setup that the Israelis fell into with a legitimate blockade. And of course, Obama ordered Israel to stop building on their own land, which of course, you know, created renewed violence in the Palestinian world. I mean, there are many, many things you can go down.
We don't recognize that the very people that want to destroy Israel want to destroy our way of life. We do so to our own peril. There is an enemy, there is a war on terror that's not a man-made you know, contingency or a man-made disaster. It's not an overseas contingency operation. There is a real war on terror, real fanatics that have no problem strapping bombs on their own children in the so-called name of God to kill people. And yet some people have forgotten.
You bet.
All right. John Voight, I hope we get to see you at the Freedom Concert this year, and you've been a great supporter and friend, and we appreciate you being on board, and we love having you on the program. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Sean.
Now, we're going to post this on our website, Hannity.com, by the way, an open letter to President Obama from John Voight. Watch the liberal media go nuts. Quick break. We will come back. We'll get to your phone calls tonight. Ann Coulter, Michelle Malkin, Marco Rubio on Hannity on the Fox News Channel at 9. We'll continue. This summer, get your Hannity fix